Catch past episodes of Create, Build, and Manage Daily on demand. Go to bizvod.com for details.
You may have heard about the ERTC, but does your business qualify? Here to help us out is Candy Messer, a podcaster and profitability and growth advisor with Affordable Bookkeeping and Payroll. Candy, it's good to see you again.
It's good to be back. Thank you.
Absolutely. So let's start with, what is the Employee Retention Tax Credit?
The Employee Retention Tax Credit is a credit available to businesses that kept employees on payroll during the pandemic, and it was able to be claimed for both 2020 and 2021 based on the quarters that the businesses qualify.
So how do they qualify? Because that's one of the questions I'm sure a lot of business owners want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I actually saw recently an article that the IRS is saying that there's been a lot of fraud in this area with people claiming credits when they really aren't entitled to them. On the other side, I've seen people saying that everyone qualifies. So we really need to talk about, how do you actually qualify for this credit? And there's a couple different ways. So for 2020, there were two ways you can qualify. Either you had to shut down due to a government mandate, whether it was a partial shutdown or a full shutdown, or you had a reduction of income compared to the same quarter in 2019. In 2021, a third way was added, and that's if you began your business after February 15th of 2020, you're considered a recovery startup business, and you can claim that as well. And there's different qualifications for each year on what the reduction of income has to be, but generally speaking, you either have the reduction of income or you had a mandated government shutdown.
And just to clarify, is the government looking at the full year, or are they taking it quarter by quarter? Because I know a lot of businesses, when you go back to 2020, they lost revenue in that second quarter, and then started to recover third quarter. Maybe they had a really great Q4. Would they qualify?
Yes. So you look at it by quarter. So if you're looking at 2020, you could start with the second quarter of 2020, compare that to the second quarter of 2019. If you had a 50% or greater reduction of your income, you qualify for that quarter. And you can qualify up until you have an 80% of your revenue back. So once you've got a 20% reduction, you don't qualify any longer, but you can qualify for multiple quarters.
Okay, that makes sense. And for those businesses that showed a profit during that year, but they started struggling post-pandemic, sounds like it's just specific to 2021. They're not looking at this year.
Yeah, 2022, you cannot count at all. But 2021, you can look back. So again, in this case, it's a 20% reduction. In 2020, you had to have 50% or greater. 2021, if you had 20% reduction compared to the same quarter in 2019, you qualify. And again, you can qualify for each quarter that you had that reduction. One difference in 2021 is you could actually look back one quarter as well. So let's say in the second quarter of 2021, they didn't have that reduction any longer, but in the first quarter they did. They can still claim in the second quarter because of the prior quarter's reduction.
That's a lot of information, and it's good that you're
It's
good that you're staying on top of it.
It's very confusing for people.
Sure. And is there a deadline to qualify? Like for businesses that have not gone through that process, when do they need to contact you to see if they qualify?
Yes. So the filing deadline is 3 years after you originally filed your return. So a 2020 second quarter return, you have till filing the end of the second quarter period in 2023. So even though it sounds like it's still a bit far away, there's really only a few more months before that is no longer able to be counted. And then 2021, you'll have one extra year.
Now, if they do qualify and they get this check, and we've all seen the advertisements out there, so I really appreciate you clarifying the truth. Is this money that has to be paid back? Because that's one of the things I talk about. It's tax-free money. You don't have to pay it back. Is that true?
It is not true that you have to pay it back. However, if you receive these credits, you do have to amend the tax return for the year that you originally filed because you are reducing your own expense. So if you receive, let's say $100,000 of total credits for 2021 and you filed your 2021 return, you will have to have that amended and you will pay tax on the whatever tax bracket you're in, you'll pay tax that amount on the credit. However, it still is additional cash in your pocket more than you would have had. So yes, go ahead and pay the tax. You could be sad that you have to pay tax on it, but you still have that difference in your pocket.
That's good advice. And then will this money run out like the PPP money did? Is there a limit where if I don't jump in, I may be too far back in the line?
No, now PPP, they did have a specific amount that they were going to give. In this case, these credits, you basically are filing based on the amount that you originally had on payroll. And we have not heard at this point at all that money is going to run out, that there was a cap on that. And so again, continue to just file those claims. Again, with qualified wages, you can't use the same wages you use for PPP forgiveness, but even if you had a PPP loan, you can still claim ERTC. Originally you couldn't, but that changed.
All righty. These are the kinds of things that Candy's talking about on her weekly podcast. So let's talk about your podcast. What's the name of it and where can we subscribe to it?
Sure. It's called Biz Help for You. And I do post on YouTube the actual video interviews, and then it does go to multiple podcast platforms, including Spotify, iTunes, Google, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. You can find it pretty much on any platform that you're probably listening to other podcasts.
It's tax season right now for a lot of businesses, so I'm guessing your topics right now are centered around making sure you get everything filed in time, right?
I want to make sure that businesses are educated in a vast array of topics, really to help them be successful. So I will share things that are based on, tax due dates as well, but also, marketing, leadership, other financial situations too, not just tax deadlines, because all of that makes up what you have to do as an employer or a business owner.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, affordable bookkeeping and payroll, you would be happy to help somebody with both.
Yes, we would. We are a full service payroll company as well as a bookkeeping company all in one place. So not only can we help with the employee retention tax credit filings, but we can help with bookkeeping, payroll, sales tax, 1099 filings, basically those compliance tasks that most people hate having to do, but they have those deadlines.
Candy, always a pleasure. That website we just had up is abnp.com, abnp.com, where you can go and check it out. Stick around. This is Create, Build, and Manage Daily.